What do we think, 7 or 7.5? I'm in a botanical garden with a 1957 German color atlas, and I'm having way too much fun. This is Ernst Biesalski's beautiful Pflanzenfarben-atlas, plant color atlas. Each card is a specific hue, with chips organized by saturation and darkness, designed so that botanists and plant breeders can hold a flower or leaf up to a sample and describe its color precisely. The first page in the atlas is this. The atlas uses the DIN 6164 color system developed by a German physicist named Manfred Richter. Richter worked on it for about 12 years before publishing the framework in 1953. Ernst Biesalski was a chemist, iris breeder, and member of the same color standards committee as Richter, so he had intimate knowledge of the color system before it was propagated. Here's something I find genuinely interesting. By 1955, Richter had published his system internationally, but the physical version at that point was clunky, more of a prototype, using a set of gelatin filters to create darkened shades like these. Certainly not practical for field use. The printed chip atlas that most people think of as the DIN color chart didn't exist until 1961. So when Biesalski produced this atlas in 1957 with printed color chips, he was making the DIN system accessible for the first time. This hue circle then is pretty much the debut of DIN hue spacing to the world, so Biesalski certainly chose the lightness and saturation of each representative chip with care. He's got them listed on the back here. So the DIN system is actually the direct descendant of the Ostwald system, which we talked about in episode 1. So it's also got 24 hues. It's also got yellow at position 1, but Richter wasn't just copying Ostwald. He did his own science. He took 120 samples from the Ostwald system and asked hundreds of test subjects to arrange the colors into sequences that felt visually even, equal steps all the way around. The result was a hue circle where the positions had been slightly shifted, while Ostwald's 4 primaries, red, yellow, green, blue, were based on Herring's abstract psychological model. Richter's spacing of hues was based on the actual perceived color differences between each hue by his test subjects. You can see the slight differences in the hue spacing if you look closely. So across from yellow, for example, is a color a bit more violet here than here. There's another quirk of this system that I find interesting. This is a page where it's supposed to all be the same hue, a blue, but you might notice that as these blues get lighter, they sort of get purpler. Like all the shades and tints of blue are supposed to be the same hue, but it's wandering toward purple. And that's because of something called the Abney effect. Basically, Richter defined his hues by dominant wavelength, a physical measurement. But when you keep dominant wavelength constant, as some colors get desaturated, they do shift in perceived hue. Other than that, Richter's color system is pretty perceptually consistent, while also being based on physical measurement, so it's a good compromise for a lot of industrial applications. For decades, the DIN 6164 color standard did enjoy wide esteem in Europe. But 1980 was the last time the standard was updated, and 1983, as far as I know, the last year any reference color chips were printed. And if you're interested in exploring an online version of the DIN Atlas, you can do so at Virtual Color Atlas. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next Color Wheel Wednesday. As always, if you've got suggestions for a color wheel you'd like me to cover, drop it in a comment. Thank you.